Hey everybody, welcome to our day 60 update in the Backyard Abundance Garden. I'm having to move the camera back further and further every 10-day update to get a sense of scale, because now we've got sunflowers that are moving towards 3 meters tall. Everything is lush and abundant and vigorous. I'm just going to briefly take you inside the garden and let you just see a few updates on where things are at and suggestions on what you could do as well as things move along. Victory! Let's take a look. So as a brief overview of this first bed we're going to look at today, guys, for the day 60 update. The potatoes are doing amazing. They're pumping along, and I've just pushed their leaves over that way a little bit so they're not blocking out the middle row. The middle row is mostly carrots and onions, and we've got some volunteer chard, some volunteer tomato, meaning I didn't plant it, but it's showing up. I just picked the first carrot before I did this video, and I wanted to just see if there's another one here. So there's my first 2 carrots. I'll give them a rinse so you can see them up close on the camera. There's our first 2 carrots at day 60 from seed, okay? So that's getting up to 15, 18 centimeters long, looking really nice, no disease, nice and clean. They're gonna be amazing. My kids love carrots. Now this bed that's closest to me, remember this was the one that had lettuce, and the lettuce got attacked by the wireworm, so it didn't do so well. So we replanted it with bush beans, which are here, and some beets, which are kind of purpley and reddish. They're both doing really well. Remember back at the beginning we were getting going, we mixed up some organic fertilizer. This is the pail of organic fertilizer I mixed up. And all I'm doing is just today hand dressing a little bit of organic fertilizer down and around the row. I'm trying to get it at the roots, not on the leaves. And then with that in, get out the watering can, give it a bit of love, work it into the roots, and then those should be set for victory as they get producing. We'll have beans before we'll have beets, I would think, because the beans are taking off really well. And this is where I would use a watering can, because you don't want the fertilizer sitting on the leaves, which would obviously harm them. You want the fertilizer getting into the plants. I don't know where this chard came from. I did not plant it, but it is showing up in places in this garden, and it's beautiful. So I'm eating a lot of chard. Oh, I gotta tell you guys. Okay, so since the day 50 update, the last 10 days, one morning I decided I was going to take some time and make a bigger breakfast than usual, and I came out to the garden here, and only with what's in the garden, let's see, I picked green onions and spring onions, a zucchini, then I pulled out a bunch of herbs. I had oregano and basil and thyme and parsley, and then in the bed that we're going to go to next, I got tatsoi and kale and chard, and then I got some eggs from our hens, and that was my omelet in the morning. So it was pretty incredible. Every day this week I've given food out of this garden to someone who's come for a visit or come to hang out with our family. So it's giving every day, and I'm getting food from it for our family as well. I'm just going to turn the camera a little bit to your right, and we're going to look at the next bed, and we'll see where things are at there. Okay, this bed is incredible. If you can see the sunflower over on my right, it's got about 10 flowers that are swarming with bees. I've got all the herbs closest to me, all the kale and sprouting broccolis in the middle. The chard and the tatsoi that's going to seed is closer to you at the camera. And over here on my left, we've got the zucchini in your foreground and the cantaloupe melon a little back into your right. So I'm just going to take a few photos so you can just kind of see what's here of all the abundance. It's so grown in beautifully. There's not a single weed in the bed. You put on the drippers and all the energy from the soil is just going into the food. This is a crazy bed. So here you can see the tatsoi is going to seed, and all the little seed pods are forming, which is exactly what cabbage and broccoli family plants would do too. These little seed pods are all going to have seeds inside them. So from this one tatsoi plant that's going to seed, you'll end up with tens of thousands of seeds available. Tatsoi is amazingly simple to grow, spring or fall. Substitutes well for spinach, and I think holds up in heat better than other things. I really enjoy eating it raw and cooked. So great thing to have. In a little closer to the camera, you can see the size of these leaves that are coming in here from, I think it's a sprouting broccoli. There's red kale. There's green kale that's right here. And oh my goodness, look at the chard, look how tall it is. This is up 30, 40, 50 centimeters, I'd say, from the ground, this chard. The leaves are getting now to be the size of, like soccer balls. I'll take you around to the other side just to see the herbs and the melons. Okay, this is pretty cool here. The melons are coming out amazing. Look at these little cantaloupes. Right in this little section right here, there's 4 or 5 of them, so they're already getting to be the size of between a baseball and a softball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here there's a 7th. And on some of these branches, take a look at this, how many flowers are coming on. So I'm gonna have to be pruning off and thinning the flowers because there's no way this thing can grow that many cantaloupes, but we're destined for a very good harvest of cantaloupes. So we've got some of these beautiful flowers in the foreground. This pepper plant now has 3 peppers of various sizes on it. The cucumber plant with the ladder type trellis, which is covered in fruit and veg, is just going amazing. I've given away so many long English cucumbers this week, and before we did the video I took a look and there's at least 10 that are all between this size and that size coming on. I found a really crazy one that's attached, so I was just going to pick it on camera just to show you the size of these, but this was a really strange shaped one. You know, this is what every little boy would turn into a cucumber gun. So that's a gorgeous little, today is brought to you by the letter J. We're gonna just look a little further down. The pole beans and the sunflowers are towering over me. Let's take a look, one last look at this bed, and I think we're done for our day 60 update. Remember way back in the days when this was a tiny little garden and everything was pointed down towards me to show what was at the soil level? And now everything is towering up above me. If I stand up, I'm still in the frame. The sunflowers are way above me in the back. It's incredible. This bed has the beets, which I've been picking, that are baseball size. It's got hundreds of tomatoes on that are all different sizes. And there's one thing that I really find kind of tedious, and in gardening, it's probably my least liked activity. It's thinning all the leaves and extra branches off of tomato plants to allow them to yield better tomatoes. Don't get guilty or feeling ashamed if your garden isn't perfect, if it's got weeds, if you got a little behind. You gotta love gardening, and gardening's easy to love if you do what you love. Today someone was visiting and she says, oh, you know what I love to do? I love thinning tomato plants. So she promised me that by the next time I do an update, day 70, our 7th one, she's gonna have thinned all these tomato plants. So we'll be able to see the tomatoes a little better on the vine and the productivity will go up, and hey, I'll have dodged the one activity I wasn't really looking forward to do. So from potatoes to carrots, fertilizing our beets and beans, taking a look at tatsoi going to seed, seeing cantaloupes that are coming up the size of softballs, having an abundance of herbs, and now there's flowers for all the bees to come on, and tomatoes to anticipate, and cucumbers to give away, and peppers on the vine. Day 60 is looking crazy. Do you understand how long this is going to keep on going? We still have beans to pick and potatoes to harvest and so much other food that's going to come in the next 20 and 30 days. So keep staying excited and encouraged. It is good to have a garden. Backyard abundance. Hope to see you day 70.